Aloha, and thank you for joining us. My name is Brian Hollinsworth from our ITSM team, and joining me today is Colin O'Brien from our DevOps team. Today we're going to provide an overview of the Now platform and show how Gremlin can be used together with ServiceNow ITSM and DevOps. To get started, I want to share how ServiceNow connects people, functions, and systems together using our cloud platform. The middle portion of this diagram contains many powerful capabilities that serve as the platform's foundation. The workflow engine connects internal functions and seamlessly integrates with external systems using IntegrationHub. Our native machine learning, AI, and analytics capabilities provide automation and insights without requiring external providers. To let people choose how they want to engage with ServiceNow, we have persona-based experiences on web, mobile, and conversational interfaces, and we also have API access. To keep everyone on the same page, our configuration repository uses a common data model that is shared across all apps. And finally, we include a set of no-code and low-code dev tools for anyone who wants to build custom apps on the platform. We've used this platform to create industry-leading products for IT, employees, customer service, and custom app development. Within IT workflows, we offer several product lines to manage a service throughout its life cycle. There's not enough time to go through all these today, so I encourage you to visit our website to learn more. Earlier this year, we partnered with Gremlin to make it easier for customers to use our products together. To do this, we built an IntegrationHub spoke with the actions listed. These can be ran manually using a catalog item request or incorporated into flows that run automatically, which we'll show in the demo. There are many more use cases for this spoke, including change compliance, resilience testing, and fix validation. To learn more, you can follow the link at the bottom or just go to docs.servicenow.com and search for Gremlin. For this conversation, we're going to focus on a change automation use case, which helps address some of the challenges where traditional ITSM processes can slow you down. Because all apps on the Now platform share a common data model, we can easily connect dev and ops teams to give everyone clear visibility of what's happening. Dev teams can plan and track their work in our Agile Dev product, or use third-party dev tools and deploy changes quickly while staying compliant. When something breaks, responders can quickly see what changed to help identify a potential root cause and restore normal service. Having all of this activity in one system gives you real-time access to key metrics so you can understand how teams and services are performing to quickly adapt and continually improve. With our DevOps product, we decided to build connections to key tools you already use, including planning and pipeline tools and code repositories. We use information from the tool chain to automate the creation of change requests in ServiceNow, which initiates the assurance path without having to swivel chair and manually create a request. We can also use change management policies to automate the change approval process using risk and fact-based assessments. The data gathered by the product can also deliver new insights across multiple teams and tool chains. And auditing can become a one-button action to link all the data from ideation to production, saving multiple weeks of manual effort. The benefit of using DevOps with our change automation and ITSM is that you can work as quickly as you want from wherever you want while staying safe and compliant. Next, Colin is going to show you how this works in our product and incorporate Gremlin into a flow to ensure a service is resilient before deployment.
Thanks, Brian. Now I'm going to go over a demonstration of how ServiceNow and Gremlin can work together to help automate your change process. Now, in this example, I have two different pipelines, a CI pipeline and a release pipeline, a CD pipeline. Now, these can be the same if you're doing continuous deployments, but for this example, I just have them broken out separately. So for this, we're actually going to start in an environment that as someone on the development team would be more familiar with, which I'm going to be inside of Azure DevOps. Now, for this, I'm going to choose my release pipeline. And from within this release pipeline, I'm just going to trigger a run manually. So if this gets kicked off some other way, that's perfectly fine, but I'm just going to go ahead and click the run pipeline. Now, in the interest of time, I'm actually going to go back out to a pipeline that's been run in the past to kind of show you what happens and how ServiceNow interacts with Azure. So I have a really simple two-stage. I'm packaging up my artifacts and I'm deploying them into production. Now, as a part of the deploy stage, there's a step that's been introduced that says basically talk to ServiceNow, create a change for me instead of me having to go in and create the change manually. And then if everything looks good, which in this case it was, then we get a result back that says, yes, this particular step did need a change request, and that change request was successful, because the goal is to actually automate both the creation and approval of the change request. Now, in order to automate it, some things are going on in ServiceNow in the background, and these things are something that people on the team really shouldn't need to worry about. So I've come into ServiceNow and I have a change automation flow. This just will be a workflow that kicks off whenever a DevOps change is raised. And it has lots of steps that we don't really need to get into. But down here, I have this, we call it a subflow. Think of it as like a function call that says we want to gather all of the data that the change team needs in order to decide whether or not this change can be automatically approved. And right now, all I really have are I'm running general tests. But we have an example of working with Gremlin where we can, as a part of the change flow, create a couple of attacks that are going to be run. We can schedule it to run during a blackout period, and then we'll check to see whether or not it was successful, if all of our attacks were properly defended against. And if we don't, we can send an email, we can post a message to Slack, just letting the team know that, in fact, we didn't have successful attacks that were run. But for this case, we know that these are good. And I'm going to drop this into a currently existing change flow. So this is something that your ServiceNow team would set up one time to just have as a part of the change. So we're just going to add a new step. I'm going to add a flow, and I have a Gremlin attack validation that we're just going to drop in. Now that this attack has been dropped in, we're going to wire up one thing, which is the configuration item that we're going to interact with. So we need to know, in order to keep this from being something that only works for one team, we need to basically look it up by reference. So that's been set up. That's all that's needed. The subflow does the rest. And in the change policy, now we're going to come in, and we have a lot of policies that have already been set up, looking at incidents and test cases, things like that. But now I also want to take the results of the Gremlin attack validation, and I'm going to drag in the success percentage, drop it into the nice little area that's awaiting it for the percentage of Gremlin attack success. And that's now wired up for the DevOps change policy. And now once this policy is evaluated for any change that we run, it'll either choose to auto approve it, or in this case, I have it sending to a group if it was not auto approved. You can also have it auto reject or send to a person. That's really up to what your process looks like before the rest of the change flow runs. And what that really gives you is that from the ServiceNow perspective, we stay out of the way of the teams that are working in whatever tool you're used to, but still giving the people on the ServiceNow team, the service team, the change team, the ability to see exactly what happened for this particular run. We can see what artifacts were deployed. We can see the pipeline. We see that a change was raised and was approved, and also everything that happened, whether it was Gremlin attacks or whether it was load tests or unit tests or some other type of functional test. So with that, we really, again, allow your teams to leverage all the testing tools, including Gremlin, to automate your deployment process while still getting all of the things that the service team needs to understand for making sure that we're adhering to our governance and compliance policies. And with that, thank you for watching how ServiceNow and Gremlin can work together to help automate that change process.
Thanks for that great demo, Colin. We'd like to thank everyone again for spending some time with us. Please visit our website to learn more and contact your account team for a deeper dive. Take care, everyone, and be safe.